Good day to you all. I'm Brian Wickman with Educational Achievement Publishing here in Eugene, Oregon. It's great to be here and to be joined with Nancy Woolfson. Nancy is an educator, a consultant, we'll say veteran direct instruction teacher, and is quite knowledgeable on the DISE program, Direct Instruction Spoken English. So Nancy, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Sure, nice to see you, Brian.
Yeah, great. So tell us a little bit about your background in supporting schools serving English language learners.
I originally field tested DISE when it was developed a long time ago, and that gave me experience teaching it. I taught about 20 Spanish-speaking adults, and when I field tested it, I was being recorded, and the people who developed it could see where the flaws in the program were, where there were flaws in my teaching. So I really got a good sense of what it was like to teach it. And then a number of years later, I participated in a study done through Oregon Research Institute, where DISE was studied to see how effective it was in teaching non-English speaking, mostly Spanish kids English in middle schools. And we tested it in 29 middle schools in 3 states, and there were about 750 kids who participated in that. And over the course of 4 years, I trained teachers, did a 2-day training on how to do DISE, and then I conducted in-person and Skype training sessions over the course of a couple years. And so that's my experience in supporting teachers and my experience with DISE.
That's great. And actually that article that you're referring to was just recently published, and we will have it available. We do have it available, excuse me, on our website. So folks want to look into the results of that. They really were quite impressive results. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. So can you tell me what kind of challenges have you encountered that other educators have encountered in implementing DISE?
Well, one of the hardest challenges in teaching DISE was actually teaching DISE. So what I mean by that is that it was scheduled to be taught daily, but there were really lots and lots of interruptions. While it was scheduled to be taught daily, it wasn't prioritized. So if there were other things going on, like presentations in other classrooms or test prep or testing, DISE seemed like it was the first subject to go. So I think you'll see in that study that it was really taught very minimally, certainly not every day the way it was scheduled. And even with that, there were significant results that DISE made a difference in kids' ability to learn language. So the takeaway from that is that if you teach it every day,
For 90
you will
minutes.
get what?
For 90 minutes, that's
For 90 minutes, I found that 90 minutes, it wasn't even scheduled to be taught for 90 minutes. 90 consecutive minutes, I think, would be very difficult to do. Probably scheduling it 2 times a day would be easier. And actually, in the study that I conducted, we were not able to get 90 minutes of instruction a day. So it was scheduled for 45 to 50 minutes a day. And even with that, we were able to get significant results. So the more you teach it, the better your kids will do.
That makes good sense. What about in terms of the training? Do teachers pick up on it relatively quickly in terms of the presentation format?
Yeah, teachers receive 2 full days of training and in-person training. And I thought it was really helpful for them because we were able to do a lot of practice. A lot of times when you hear a presentation, you think I got it. But when they did their practice teaching and got feedback on how to pace, how to signal, how to correct, I think teachers found it very valuable. And then we did um, an in-person training over the course of the year, which was really helpful for me to see the lay of the land, the motivation systems that were in place. And I also did a few Skype trainings throughout the year. This was pre-Zoom. Um, and that was really helpful because the program changes. If you learn something in your initial training, the skills increase in difficulty, and therefore you need some tune-up on how to do those additional corrections, presentations, etc.
I see. When we chatted a little bit earlier, it was interesting. You brought up the notion of um, fluency or pronunciation type issues and corrections versus content types of correction and errors that students make in their performance. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So in the beginning of the program, it requires teachers to tap for each word. And a lot of teachers wanted to present the sentences the way that you and I normally speak them. So they might say, the boy is going to the store. Well, when you're initially teaching something, it's really important that students hear when a word begins and when it ends. And I'll use the example of the sentence, this is a boy. So that would be the pace at which you would want to present it. This is a boy, rather than this is a boy, because if you say it that way, it's hard to tell where a word ends and where it begins. So it's really important that you say each word distinctly. And then in a sentence like, this is a boy, tapping for each word, if a student says, dies is a boy, you wouldn't expect them to be able to say it exactly the way you do. This is a boy. That would be your end goal, but the goal at this point in time might be that they say each word in the sentence. So if you, what I used to refer to, because I did it myself when I was teaching DISE, beat the dead horse and say it over and over and over and over so you get is instead of is, that definitely is kill and drill. You're just going to lose your kids. It's really deflating and demoralizing. So you need to know kind of how much to correct. And there's a rule in the teacher's guide that you never correct more than 7 times. So those are the kinds of issues that you need to learn how to adapt to.
Tell me a little bit about motivation. I mean, in a high school setting, is this would be an elective, or would it perhaps be something like a pull-out intervention program?
I did not teach kids in high school. I only taught them in middle school, so I don't know about that scheduling.
Okay, but in middle school, was it an elective? Was it an assigned set class?
Yeah, they had an ELL period.
And that was the program.
Yeah, so it was taught during that period.
And how motivated were the students? I mean, were there special things implemented to kind of keep them on track and enthused?
Well, I was really impressed by the teachers that I worked with. Many of the teachers that I worked with had been through English language learning programs when they were kids in school, and they believed strongly in this program. They really liked it. And having been in that situation, a lot of them were really skilled at motivating their students. I remember when I was learning a foreign language and the teacher called on me to speak in class, it was really difficult. And I was really embarrassed and ashamed and humiliated and, all those things. But that's one of the beauties of DISE is that if you get a whole group response, kids are able to practice with the group and they build up skill and confidence. Good teachers with good motivational practices in their classrooms got good results.
Okay, great. Well, I want to give you a chance to kind of have the parting shot. Yeah, but what would you have a recommendation? What words would you want to give to a teacher who's embarking out on teaching this program for the first time to kids?
Well, I would say, and this might sound kind of mundane, but I think it's really important, read the teacher's guide. Know the teacher's guide. The teacher's guide contains a lot of valuable information that will help you as you move through the program. And you're going to need a lot of tricks in your bag to motivate kids to do something that's really hard for them. Be positive, be reinforcing, be understanding and compassionate, and teach, teach, teach. You got to build time to help them be successful.
Great. Well, thank you, Nancy. I really do appreciate your time. And I know you join us at EAP in wishing teachers success in utilizing the program with their students.
Yeah, have fun.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay, bye.